All right, guys, welcome to the Higher Level Live. We have the honor and pleasure of having Mr. Dipo in the studio today with us. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks for coming. I'm excited to talk to you. And like, you have one of those names. It's just, you don't even need to say a last name.
Right.
So that's beautiful, like Prince and Madonna. But before we get started, how long have you had an insurance license?
Next month will make it 1 year.
So 11 months, not even one full year.
Correct.
How long have you been actively selling insurance?
Since March.
Since March.
Correct.
April, May, June, July. So 5 months.
That's correct.
Helped over 50 families last month?
That is correct.
So, like, why I'm so excited to talk to you is because there's a lot of people in this industry that are afraid to do what you do, okay? And they're afraid because they think that I guess they think they're more complicated than really what they are. And the cool thing about you is you're not even, and I don't recommend this to most people, but you're not even buying leads.
Yeah, that's correct.
How do you find all your clients?
Social media.
Social media.
100%.
So, guys, before, like, comment, subscribe to this page, please hit your notifications button. But what is your social media? Like Instagram, how many followers do you have?
On Instagram, I'm at 110 right now.
110?
Correct. And then on TikTok, I'm at 122,000.
110,000, not 110. Like,
Right,
I'd
yeah.
have 110.
Right.
In fact, when he took over my social media, I had 110.
Oh, wow.
Something like
Interesting.
that. Now I'm pushing, 70,000?
Wow, that's amazing.
Right? But it's you got to have somebody that understands it. And so where did you learn all that?
Just self-taught. You know, I read a lot. I study successful people, and I'm a sponge, and I strongly believe in, following what successful people do and just replicating.
Yeah.
So I simply watch successful people and I do what they do.
Okay. So you have all these followers. Now, how long have you had, like 5 months ago when you started selling insurance, how many followers did you have?
So on Instagram, as of 3 months ago, I had 1,500.
Shut the front door.
Yep, 1,500. On TikTok, as of official, I think December 23rd, I had 23 followers.
So 23,
Yeah.
not 2,300, not 23,000, 23.
Yep, you count 1, 2, 3 to 23.
And was there something specific that catapulted the growth of your social media page?
On TikTok, it was my very first video content that I did regarding life insurance. And the caption was, why is it mandatory to have car insurance, health insurance, homeowners insurance, but not life insurance?
Right.
And that video I posted a video one night, woke up the next morning, had 40,000 views.
Wow.
So that's when I kind of knew that this is where I need to spend a lot of my time.
Sure.
Creating content to educate people on life insurance.
Yeah. And that's a big deal. You're like, we talked about a little bit before we started this about selling. And when I was like, I loved being in the field for that reason, because I felt like there's so many people that weren't properly educated.
Absolutely.
By the agent that was there, especially if there was an agent there before you, you know what I mean? And,
Absolutely.
And to me, it's sad because there's enough to go around that if you just do the right things, you'll make money.
Oh, definitely.
Because this stuff sells itself.
It does.
Right?
People are just not educated. And I think it's our job as agents to focus less on trying to sell and focus more on educating.
Yes.
And that's the key.
I agree. That's funny. The very first conference FFL had, that literally was my topic. My topic was mortgage protection sales.
Gotcha.
But I talked about educating the clients on how mortgages worked, interest rates, if you paid your house off early, everything you need to know, what happens when you died, contract between bank and you. And that was my talk. Like, educate your clients, and then they'll trust you, and then they'll move because when people understand something, they'll do it.
Absolutely.
Right. So what you're selling now can be very confusing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So can you go through with me, how'd you learn the IUL game the way you did, as fast as you did?
Sure. So I think for me, when I first got on board with the first company that I was with, they had a different model where you got to sit down with your upline to, write your first couple of business and to get the sale. I told them I'm not with that. Like, you're not getting my business, and that was their model. And that's why I couldn't see myself doing that.
Right.
So what I did was I called the company, the sales team, and for 3 days, I spent 1 or 2 hours every single day with them, and they were breaking down how Index Universal Life worked. So that's how I kind of learned it. And I wrote my own policy, wrote the policy for my kids. So I was not that guy to rely on upline or somebody else to teach me. I'm a go-getter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was learning, went on YouTube, watching other people who are expert when it comes to Index Universal Life.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of got good at it.
Dude, and that's what's funny when you say that. Like, there's so many people that use the excuse of the guy that brought me on or my upline, my manager, my mentor, they didn't help me enough. Like, you understand, it's the world we live in, information is literally at the tip of your fingers.
Oh, definitely. So
there's no excuse for you not knowing something other than the fact that you're just lazy.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
That's why we love people like you. Because you come in and you're like, you're what they call a curve buster. You know, in school they would grade on a curve, and then you had somebody that like the kid in the class that nobody liked because he was really smart, and that's why nobody liked him. We get like a 98, he'd bust the curve. Right.
Interesting.
Everybody else was getting 60s. They were going to grade you up to an 80.
Yep.
Except Tom was really smart and got a 98 and screwed everybody.
Yeah.
But that's the way it works, right? You're a curve buster. You take the excuses away from people by going, no, dude, the information's here. I went, call the insurance company, first of all.
Yeah.
You know how many hours you spent on the phone with the insurance company to learn what you learned?
Yeah. It was countless.
Countless. Yeah. But it's priceless because you didn't, like if you called me and I just give you an answer and you hang up, you might remember it, but you probably won't.
Right. Then I call back again.
Then you call back again. But when you spend your precious time on the phone, on hold, hitting the button, waiting for, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff, you remember it. So over 50 families helped last month. All IULs? All IULs. No lead purchase.
Zero.
How are you creating leads through your social media?
Once again, I just focus on creating educational content.
Okay.
You know, I educate people in different parts of IULs. And once again, I'm not only known for life insurance, I'm known for as a financial, consultant, somebody you can, when you look at my page, it's not just about insurance. It's about money, how to save money, different things you can invest in. So people see me as a brand, right? Sure. So when I create my content on life insurance, they trust the information that I'm saying. Yeah. Right. And the information that I'm putting out there, things that I can easily find on Google. Yeah. Right. And I just create a 60-second video and put it out there. And that one video can generate 20, 30 leads. Wow. You know what I mean? And sometimes I have to literally, because my calendar was open Monday through Friday. And I was literally having back-to-back 15-minute calls that I couldn't write business. So I had to basically, cancel or block out my calendar on Tuesdays and Thursdays just to be able to write business.
Sure. Because you need longer than 15 minutes, obviously.
Right. And then I find myself pushing people back because if somebody calls right now from a 15-minute schedule and they want to write the business right then and then, I forget everybody.
You have to
close that business.
So, one in the hand's worth two in the bush.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Dude, that's amazing. So you're getting per post 20, 30, 40 people going, hey, I'd like more information. Can you help me?
Oh, definitely.
So what is your social media handle, your Instagram handle?
It's Dipo_Adesina. So DIPO_ADESINA.
Okay. We're going to that's on the screen right now. So just click that or copy it. And then how about TikTok?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Now be careful though, because there are quite a number on TikTok. I think I have like 50 something fake accounts.
What?
On Instagram, maybe like 4 or 5. So be very careful. Whichever account has the highest follower, that's my account.
We need to get you verified.
I've try to do that, but I think they have certain requirements that I just don't have yet.
I got you.
Really?
I'm literally like yes. I have a company that I'm working with, and that's who's helped me go from 100 followers to 70,000. Oh, wow. They've released my article. There's a lot of stuff you have to do.
Exactly.
They have it in place, and it can get done within 90 to 120 days, which is pretty fast.
Love. That's love.
Because that's ridiculous, right? And I think that's a good way. Plus, people are mocking your accounts. That poses well for you,
right?
You know what I mean? And so they're trying to take what you've built, steal it, so they can make money for themselves, and they're probably going to wind up screwing clients over as well.
Oh, definitely.
Right. So, how many posts a week do you do?
I try to do 3 to 4 per day.
3 to 4 per day.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're all like roughly 60 seconds?
Oh, yeah. So on Reels, your maximum you can post is 1 minute, 30 seconds. So maximum I keep it within 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Okay. And let's just say, can we do a reel? Can you go through one of your reels like right now? Like just pretend I'm shooting a reel with you. I'll hold the camera up. Like, can you go through what you would say on one of them?
So if it was a script, okay, sure, yeah, I can come up with some.
Yeah, whatever you shoot. All right, so I'm gonna go. Boom, we're ready.
All right. So do you know that you don't have to actually pass away before you can access money from your life insurance? Of course, most people think that the only people that benefit from it is your beneficiaries. But with a certain type of whole life policies that you can actually build and structure it in a way where you can access anywhere from 20, 30, even up to $100,000 from the policy before you pass away. But it has to be structured properly. So make sure that make sure that you get the right policies, not a term policy, not final expense. It has to be a whole life policy that is properly built that allows you to access money from that cash value.
Boom, done.
Just like that.
Dude, that's money.
Yeah.
And so, God, you've grown, your social media has exploded in 5 months.
Yeah.
But were you not really involved in social media?
I've always been, but my main focus has always been Facebook. So I'm very active on Facebook.
Right.
But then when that first video that I did went viral on TikTok, I knew that I had to change gears. That the audience, the people that I was looking for, they're not on social media. I mean, they're not on Facebook. They're on TikTok and Instagram. So I started diverting a lot more of my energy on those two platforms. But I still repost all content across all three platforms.
Sure. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
That just makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I've been told the same thing. Like, Facebook's for old people like me.
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok is more of a younger crowd.
Absolutely.
And honestly, if you're gonna target IULs, can you imagine if you would have started an IUL when you were 20?
Oh, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
And it's 100% tax free.
100. Yeah.
Dude, it's mind boggling that people don't utilize these. But then you have folks like, I'm not even going to say, there's some financial experts out there, that say, oh, don't buy term, invest the rest, or never buy whole life, or never buy. Like, do you understand? Like, every situation is different.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the most irresponsible thing any of these people that have power as far as what they say and them being known to go, everybody should do this, because that's BS.
It is.
Why do you think so?
Number one, because that's the only product they have. I get that all the time, even up until yesterday, where people say, "Hey, just buy a term, invest the difference." Anybody who says that, they usually work with one type of company,
right?
Because that's all they offer. And the challenge and the beautiful thing about what we do, Frank, is that we offer everything. If you want term, I got you. If you want whole life index, we got you.
Sure.
So I'm not biased. I have a term policy. I have whole life. I have index universal life.
That's right.
Right. So it's all based on what the client wants.
That's right.
But if you're just focused on telling people to buy term and invest the difference, people will buy the term, but they will never invest the difference.
They're going to spend it.
They would spend it.
That's right.
Because most people are not conditioned to invest. And actually, most people who buy a term, 90% of them actually don't get the payout because they outlive
the term. Yeah.
The term. So, I think, it's a lack of knowledge. And when you're closed-minded and when you've been fed, especially being with one particular company, you've been brainwashed to think this is the only way to go. You tend to think that what everybody else is offering, it's not valuable, which is not the case.
Yeah, no doubt. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think, the more folks we have like you screaming educational stuff and people will listen, because it's not all like, I could say the same thing you're saying. Some people will hear what I'm saying.
Sure.
Some people won't. You could say the same thing I'm saying. The same people that heard me won't hear you, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So we need a lot of people screaming this stuff, because it's really, first of all, life insurance is not that expensive.
It's not.
But the big misconception is they can't get it because they might have diabetes, or they get blood pressure medication, or they're a little chunky. So there's so many misconceptions. And then with IULs, so when we talk about writing an IUL, you talked about funding it properly.
Yeah.
When I would go into homes and I'd see an IUL written, that would be the first thing I would look at to see what the minimum premium was, how far from the minimum premium was their payment stretched out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the minimum payment would be what the client was making. You know why? Do you have an idea why that would be the case?
Because most of the time, agents who sell IULs or whatever, they don't know how to structure it. Because most of the time we just want to write a policy, get paid. If you're that type of agent, you're not going to make it in this business, right? Because I've had people come from other organization, and when they show me their policy, I said, it's not
going to last.
It's not going to last. And you know what they do? They cancel and they come on board with me, right? That's not the intention. I'm just letting you know it was not structured properly.
That's right.
So that's where the educational piece comes in. Not more so if you're trying to educate people, but you first educating yourself, because when you're properly educated, then you can disseminate the information to people properly.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you're 100% right. And when I would sell them, dude, I would go through everything. I mean, everything from when you get the policy, it's going to say adjustable premium life insurance. Mm-hmm. It says that because this premium is very much so adjustable.
Yeah.
We could set it here or we could set it here. We're going to set it up here so that it lasts. If it's set down here, it could be bad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you have to go through this stuff because that's what happens. And then you're right. The agents, first of all, they don't have enough appointments.
Yeah.
So then when they sit with you, they go, oh yeah, we're going to write this. It's a permanent policy. It's never going to lapse. It's going to build cash value. And then in 25 years, when they turn 70, the price goes up 10 times. Yeah. Right. And that's the worst thing in the world. And no, it's not your intention to have somebody cancel a policy. It's never good to cancel a policy. But wouldn't you rather know at 56 than 74?
Absolutely.
Right? They don't have a choice.
Definitely.
Definitely. So I love that about what you're doing. Can you explain to people how universal life works? Like true everything. Like if I had paper, I'd show you how I used to explain it to people.
Sure.
But we can't do that on here. How do you explain it? Because are you doing virtuals? You're doing telesales too, right?
Just virtual.
All virtual. So you're not sitting like you and I face to face.
No.
So like my presentation would be kind of tough because I would write on a piece of paper, I'd flip it, I go, you understand this? And they go, yes or no. How do you explain to me how a universal life policy works? How do you explain where you're going to set the premium? Is it going to be max premium, minimum? What's it going to be? Target? Can you explain all of that to the folks listening so they can maybe get a better understanding of how these policies work?
Sure. So I think the first thing that I do is really to understand what the client wants, right? Some people just want an IUL because they want some type of, policy that will last for a long time, right? Until death or whatever. They might not necessarily be too interested in the cash value. So with that type of person, I usually just do a target premium. Right?
Okay.
Target premium is the cost of actually getting that policy.
Right.
Now, in most cases, I don't get too many of those people because everybody that watches my video, they want to build cash value.
Sure.
So with the cash value, depending on the company, all companies, you're allowed to give them, I want to say the lowest death benefit as possible while they're able to overfund their policy. So for example, I'm 36 years old. Maybe the cost of insurance to get a $300,000 policy for me is $150.
Okay.
Right. That's the
cost. Right.
Now with IUL, it gives you the ability to say, hey, Dipo, you can put in more than 150, say 300. That's overfunding the policy.
Sure.
So what happens is that 150 is now going into the actual cash value account.
Sure.
Right. And that's what's actually earning interest anywhere from 5.8 to 10%, depending on the company.
Because it's indexed.
Exactly. Now, even with the base premium, the target premium you're paying, a portion of that is still going towards the cash value.
Right.
Right. Now, the indexing part basically means that the money it's not in the market, but it's tied to the market. Right. Which means that if the index if the market perform extremely well, you're more than likely, let's say the market at 20%. Depending on the cap of the company, you might get that maximum cap, say 10%.
Sure.
If the market basically performed poorly that year, you might not get anything, but you're not losing anything in your cash value.
That's right.
Which is why a lot of people love it because, hey, if I overfund this thing, my money is safe. And that's what people are looking for, right?
Yeah.
You can still do your stocks, you can still do your cryptocurrency, but if you're looking to build, supplemental retirement account, or whatever the case may be, then IUL is definitely something you want to consider.
And dude, they're so strong. But again, when they're funded properly, and just so like y'all are watching, and I'm going to try and explain this, and you tell me if you can understand this.
Sure.
So the scenario you just gave, you're 36, the cost of insurance is 150. You're paying 300. It means 150 is going to your cash account every month.
Yeah.
At 37, the cost of insurance goes to 160, which means now 140 is going in your cash account.
Yep.
38, it's going to 175. Now 135 is going into your cash account, right? As you increase in age, the cost of insurance increases.
Sure.
When you hit the level of where the cost of insurance is what you're paying, that's the tipping point.
Yeah.
Right? So at, say, 69, the cost of insurance is $300. You're paying $300. That means no more is going in the cash account, correct?
Nope, that's correct.
So at 70, the cost of insurance goes to $310. Where's that extra? Where's the $10? Because you're paying $300 still. Now the cost is $310. Where's the $10 come from?
So a few things. You can either choose to increase your premium, right, to add that $10 to it, or because you've built your cash value over time,
right,
and it has grown, you can now have the cash value actually feed the actual cost of insurance,
which covers the increase of the cost of insurance, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing is that even though it's still doing that, you're taking money from the cash value to feed this. The cash value is still increasing because it's earning interest annually. Correct.
Now, and with that scenario, that 100% would work because you start at 36, at 69, you hit the cost of insurance.
Yep.
That's 33 years.
Yeah.
That's what, like you've heard the penny trick, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I give you a penny and double in value every day for 30 days today, or give you $3 million, which would you take? Most people take the $3 million.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you take the penny on day 30, it's $5 million.
Absolutely.
Because of compounding effect, right? Yeah. So that's the way IULs work. Now, if that scenario was, let's just say at 36, you paying 100, the cost of insurance is 150, and you're paying 200. At 48, you're at 200 for the cost of insurance. Mm-hmm. Now it's going to start to drain your cash account. Most people won't pay the higher premiums. Secondly, most people don't know the premiums went up.
Right.
So their cash account is dwindling. They're making the same premium. Then at 57, they get a letter from the insurance company that goes, hey, your premiums are going up to $450 a month. And you go, what?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's the importance of understanding these policies and funding them properly.
Absolutely.
What is the max? So you're asking for the minimum death benefit with max cash accumulation, right? That's how you. Now, did you learn to run illustrations, or how did you figure all that out? Because, we get calls all the time. I need to run an illustration. I learned by calling.
Right.
How did you learn?
Running different samples, right? And then when I didn't understand, I called the company. That's probably the biggest piece, like calling a company directly, talking to it. And the more you call, the more you get better at it, then the less you call because now you got it.
That's right.
Yep.
So you can run your illustrations to all the companies. What's your favorite company to write the IUL with?
Mutual of Omaha.
Moo. The IULE?
And Income Advantage.
Income Advantage.
Yeah. So IULE if you're doing less than $300,000.
Okay.
And then Income Advantage if you're doing more.
Okay.
Than $300,000.
Got it. What's the biggest monthly premium you've ever somebody wanted to put away?
Well, I have a client who he pays, about $500 something a month, but he also overfunded. He just overfunded it, I think, a couple of days ago, like $30,000.
Wow.
He just so he wants to be able to just dump money in every year. Most of my clients, that's what they want.
Okay.
So even though we talked about getting the lowest death benefit and putting in max premium, that's good for people who really don't want to put in a lump sum.
Yeah.
You want to be able to pay high premium. Some people want to, be able to put in 30, 40, 50 grand.
Sure.
With those type of policies, then you got to give them a higher death benefit so that the policy doesn't mech. So
gotcha.
You're able to put in a lump sum.
What does that mean? What is a mech?
Modified endowment contract.
Okay. What happens if that happens?
You're basically liable to pay taxes on any capital gains or profit that you earn on top of what you put in. So let's say you put in $20,000, and then because of the interest and compound, whatever, you came up to $25,000. You got to pay taxes on that $5,000. So
if that guy, because and this is good because I've never done it that way. Yeah. I've always done it monthly, right? Yeah. 300, 500,000, 1,500 was the biggest one I ever written. Sure. Actually, $2,000 a month.
Oh, nice.
So that guy puts in 30 grand. What happened? Does the insurance company tell you if it's meching out? What happens if it goes over a little bit? How do they fix that? Do you know?
Yeah. Well, they'll never allow it to go over.
Okay.
Like, that's certain. But then when you run the illustration, it tells you exactly how much you can put in maximum for that year. So we knew from the onset that the maximum that he could put in was about 30 grand.
Got it.
Now, the more you pay your monthly premium, the less that, you're able to put in because it's the total for the year, not just your premium subtracting the lump sum. Gotcha.
So his total was his premiums were let's just say his total was 36 grand. Yeah. He might have paid 6. He had 30 left, or he dumped 30 in.
Exactly.
And the year is the calendar year of the policy, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then you're also starting to do some of these premium financing deals.
I want to start getting. I just learned about that yesterday.
Okay.
I was actually re-listening to the recorded version on my way here to the office. So I want to learn more about that. I'm definitely going to be calling them to figure out how that works. So what I do from a content creation standpoint, I intentionally create content to target specific people.
Sure.
So once I get into the aspect of premium financing, then I'm creating more content to target people who are, 7-figure earners, big business owners.
Gotcha.
So I'm attracting those types of people. So
Did you go to school?
Did I go to school for
Anything? Did you go to college?
Oh, yeah.
What's your degree in?
Business. But everything that I know came from the streets, not the classroom.
No doubt. I mean, I can see that. I am definitely a big component of college is somewhat overrated in the sense of, you learn what you learn doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So mine is being a doctor, an attorney, an engineer, because you have to have that degree.
Yeah.
I know an engineer. He said he learned everything he learned was on the job.
Exactly.
So it's like, but you still have a pretty good mindset when it comes to business. Do you read a lot?
That I do.
Okay.
Yeah, my library is a little bit sick, so I do read a lot.
Yeah? I'd like to see that. How old are you, Dipo?
36.
36. And you're married?
Yeah.
How long you been married?
December 11th will be 11 years.
December 11th, 11 years. Okay. Yeah. And you have kids, 3, correct?
3. And
you said 9, 7, and 4?
Yes.
Boy, girl, boy.
Exactly.
Okay. I was going to ask you a question, but I can't do that. I always ask, like, who's your favorite? I'm not messing around, but, like, my kids, my son's sitting right there. I have a baby girl. Like, sure. And you don't know, like, my job's to raise men. My job's to protect my daughter. So it's like you have a soft spot for your daughter because she's your daughter. Do your kids play any sports? Do they?
Nah, they don't.
Okay. No. What's your wife do?
She has a bakery business, so she runs that from home. She's a stay-at-home mom, but I don't want to say stay-at-home because she's working. She's working,
sure.
You know what I mean? But runs a pretty nice bakery business.
There's no way in the world you could pay me to stay at home with 3 kids.
It's a huge responsibility.
I could not do it. I'd lose my mind. What type of baking?
More like customized fondant cakes.
Oh, she does custom cakes.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm always looking for that. So we used to have, when my son, my youngest, his name is Ventino. When Tino turned 1, we had a huge party.
Oh, nice.
And we had a cake that like Nemo, Finding Nemo, that movie was out when he was turning 1. And this lady, we had a lady, she made the best cakes. Like the cake, phenomenal. The Nemo was about as big as this table. She made a Nemo cake. And it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Then she quit because her back was bad.
Oh, wow.
So we've never found somebody that would make cakes as good as that. So I'm definitely going to have to reach out. So what is your goal wrapping up 2022? Do you have any personal income goals, or do you have any personal production goals, team goals? What are you looking to accomplish here at Family First Life?
I want to get to a point where I'm earning at least $100,000 every month.
Every month?
Every month.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's pretty aggressive. And, of course, so now I'm pretty much solo because when I came through the door, I just wanted to make money. I didn't care about recruiting. But, I mean, of course, in talking to you, talking to Mike, really understanding the importance of building a business, I think that goal is definitely doable because now it's about helping other people.
That's right.
And, basically earning a portion of their production as well. So that's part of my goal, to start building for sure and increase my productivity.
So, and if you think about it, Dipo, like, you're pretty passionate about this.
Oh yeah.
It's why you have people following you.
Yeah.
Because people follow passion. Do you think there's a lot of people out there that need our help?
Oh, definitely.
Right? Definitely. So imagine if you duplicated yourself.
Yeah.
How many more people would get served, protected, prevented from getting that terrible policy that some agent that didn't care about them really just was trying to make money wrote them? You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
It's kind of how I look at it. And then the fact is, like, the economy's rocky. Jobs are getting cut. Gas prices are going up. Everything's going up. Like,
definitely.
70% of Americans have a part-time job. That number was from like 4 years ago.
Wow.
I've had to guess, I'd say probably 85%.
Yeah.
At this point, right? You have to.
Yeah.
What if we could teach them to go out and help 1 or 2 families a week, 15 hours?
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, it would change their life.
Absolutely. I mean, an average family only needs an additional $500 to have a completely a life-changing experience every month.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's a research that was done about it. So that's extra $6,000 a year.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. We can absolutely help a ton of people
definitely
change their lives.
Absolutely.
And I love it, dude. I love what you're doing, man.
Thanks a lot.
I'm excited. I'm grateful you came up here and shared with us. I would love to get you back in again and do this some more, especially dive deeper into the social media. Maybe you can give some people some pointers.
Sure.
Because it's one of those things that if you don't get on that train, you're going to get left behind.
Definitely.
I fought that for a long time, and I'm kicking myself because I'm playing catch up.
Yeah.
You know, so guys, you're going to start recruiting. If you
absolutely,
can people reach out to you if they want to learn how to sell these products?
Oh, definitely.
So how would I get a hold of you if I wanted to reach out to you? If I wanted to come try to sell some insurance and maybe help some people with IULs, how would I get a hold of you?
Sure. So they can definitely follow me on social media, Dipo, DIPO _ADESINA. And if you wanted to shoot me a quick text, you can do that as well. 443-801-2421.
Dude, Dipo, thank you so much, man. I greatly appreciate you coming in. This has been an incredible 30 minutes. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks a lot, Frank.
Guys, until next time, make it a big week.